Hello, hello. It is Throwback Thursday, April 26, 2018. Steve Sipress here at the Networking Together event with my clients hosting it, Robert and Sean Jones. What a fantastic event. My friend Laurel Langmeyer just came off the stage, electrifying the audience. David Fagan was on the stage, and everyone loved him. I could do a Throwback Thursday on David because first speaking gig he ever did was on a stage at my event. I didn't know that at the time. He told me later. Anyway, I have with me one of my longtime clients who he just informed me that I met 12 years ago, and his name is Jerry Ace Luciano, right here. Now, I also was on the stage for a very short time at the event. Ace came to hang out, support me, and meet some cool people. Did you meet some cool people?
I met some cool people.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, definitely cool.
And so, but most of all, we got to hang out, which was very cool.
Right.
And with my beautiful wife, Michelle. But then I said, it's Throwback Thursday.
Right.
And being you, just the relationship is Throwback Thursday material. Because I was like, we met 10 years ago, and he always corrects me, we met 12 years ago.
Right.
And why don't you tell the story? How did we first meet?
We met, I went into training at a place called R.H. Donnelly, publisher of the AT&T Yellow Pages in Chicago, Illinois. And I went in there and broke all these sales records that I assumed were like decades old. And they're like, no, some guy came through and like resettled sales records. And when I got done, my trainer said, listen, you're going to the office that guy's at. And his name is Steve Sipress, and you guys are getting along great. You need to go look him up. So when I went out there, we were in the middle of a campaign. I believe it was Lake County. It was like the middle of July, like fall, right?
I wouldn't know.
I don't remember, but we're in the middle of a campaign, and I went over to Steve's desk, introduced myself.
Well, first of all, your cubicle, they put you like
across the
10 feet
row.
From mine.
Right.
Come on now.
So I look around, I go, hey.
Talk about, first of all, stacking the deck.
Correct.
In an office with our manager.
He hit the jackpot
got like
with
the two consecutive record-breaking new reps on his team.
Right. And here's by like choice and me because I live further north than anybody on the entire team. So I therefore got his team, right? But anyway, I'll never forget to ask Steve, like, they gave me this pitch book and I put all this stuff in it, but a lot of it, I don't know, like, if I'm going to use all this, what do you put in yours? And Steve looked at me and went, that? I have no idea. It's there on the desk. Take mine if you want. I was like, now there's a guy. Book. There's a guy I got to follow.
I forgot that. Yeah. Okay, so in the training for folks that weren't there, or if you've ever worked for a big corporation, they give you the old binder with the, well, now it might be a PowerPoint slide.
Right.
Back then it's a binder with the pages in it, and like, here's the script and the pitch book. You're supposed to go to all the small business owners and tell them all about the history of the Yellow Pages, right? What year it started and who started it and why it's so great.
1892.
How many people did?
See,
I don't even love like you're kidding me. I was laughing. I was like, had such disdain for you. I'm like a gnat. Like, get away from me with like such a question. Which order or what stuff you put in the pitch book? Because evidently, I guess I remember from your question, there must have been some kind of option.
Right.
That you could take some stuff out or put it in.
Correct.
And I'm like,
change some things.
I didn't look at that thing from the second they gave it to me. How do you think I broke every record? Right. I don't do stuff the way they do.
Well, and ironically, I broke all the records by using the pitch book and opening it occasionally.
How'd you do that?
I would be in a call and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, here's something that shows that example I just talked about."
Oh, well,
we had a conversation, like,
yeah. Well, that's how you do it.
Which
talk
they were,
to people.
Yeah,
go
correct.
figure.
They were completely like, "How are you doing all this? How are you getting people to talk to you?" I'm like, I asked him like, what do you
small business owners,
right? Small business owners.
So that was my answer. I'm like, I love small business owners. I love helping them with their marketing and their advertising. I talk to them. They talk to me. I don't pitch them.
Right.
I'm not selling them. I'm not pitching them. I'm not trying to get their money. I'll get plenty of their money because every time they give it to me, they'll make more.
Right.
So I'm spending the whole time asking questions to find out what they need, what they want, how they can help people, and I'll put that into an effective ad and they'll make money.
Right.
I'm not pitching them on how great the Yellow Pages is. But you reminded me, the pitch book.
And Steve is actually the person that launched what is now one of my major sources of income and where I have developed all my expertise. And that is with my outdoor career. I have a very large following in social media. I write, I sell advertising and do internet things and such, all in the firearm world. And I will never forget
You're
it.
being very humble. You're like a hugely recognized superstar in that field.
Right. I have a lot of I have a lot of clout and a big network. All right. So I know a lot of folks, and I'll never forget.
And I always feel I could not feel safer than when Ace comes over to my house
Right.
and visit. I'm like, I now feel safe.
Correct. I usually have several means
This is
of
now
defense
not
on
a
my
gun-free
person.
zone.
Right.
And we're not a soft target.
We're not a soft target
And
anytime you're with Ace.
no shooter
Right.
is coming in.
Correct. So, anyways, I competed in an event over a weekend called the Total Outdoorsman Challenge, and I said something about it. Or I said I was doing it over the weekend. Well, Steve went, and not only did he watch it, he set it up. He was one of the very first people that I knew that had TiVos and such, and he set it up on his TiVo and then
I
downloaded
remember
it to a DVD and brought it in. We come into the Monday morning meeting, and there's me on the television screen for a Monday morning meeting.
Yeah, you were like fishing and
I made
shooting
I made the finals.
Yeah,
That's how.
yeah.
And that was really I made the finals of
And
the
you
event.
weren't happy
and
with me for doing that, though.
Initially, I was a little embarrassed
I
because I
remember,
wanted,
you were
to keep
like,
that kind
"Oh."
of separate from what I did. And I was like, he's like, don't you understand? You just launched the business you always wanted to be in. And he said, you are an expert. You need to clearly position yourself as an expert.
I don't even remember that. Since the first time you're telling me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was Steve.
See, I don't
is
even
the reason
remember.
got
I just
into
look at you as an expert who makes a lot of money in that field.
Right.
I didn't realize, but it makes sense, though, that I'm the one that told you, let's do that and I'll help you do it.
Let's make a business,
Yeah.
right? So and that
Very
was how I developed that into a business. So Steve and I have been.
And if we had about 17 hours here, we would
could
talk
tell
about
all
the
the rest
other,
of
like,
it.
half a dozen businesses
Exactly.
you have.
Right. I do a bunch
You
of
have
other
more
things.
irons in the fire than
Yeah.
like a Girl Scout, a Boy Scout jamboree.
Well, and that's another lesson. I could go on and on and on and all the lessons that being a client of Steve's has taught me. But one of the very first lessons I learned from Steve was diversity is security. And it resonated with me because the way I wound up working at the same company as Steve was I was unexpectedly laid off from my 6-figure medical sales job with no plan, no resume, no connections,
I remember that.
no nothing. And
Whose fault was that?
right, he goes, well, that was your fault. Like, it wasn't what are you talking about? It wasn't my fault. He's like,
One
it was your
stream
fault
of
for not
income?
having it. Right, one stream of income.
What kind of plan
So,
is that? Don't you have kids?
Correct.
Do you care about them at all?
I do. So.
And you're gonna stake your financial success.
I just
Did
won
you win something?
I just won
Go
something.
get it.
the other
So
week,
that's Ace for Throwback Thursday. He just won something. He's going to go up and pick it up on the stage. And I titled this video Mixing Business and Pleasure because I just believe in that. Whoever came up with the statement, you don't mix business and pleasure, how does that make any sense at all? I'm a small business owner. If you're watching this, you're likely a small business owner. And a small business takes over our life. I mean, it's everything we're all about. So what are you supposed to be miserable and not have any pleasure in it? So Ace, first I met him and kind of mentored him there at the Yellow Pages, and didn't need much mentoring there. He was a superstar already. Just elevated him there and helped him start a few new businesses, and been a long-term client, friend. Comes over our house anytime. He's always welcome. We've had Thanksgiving dinner together with him and his family and done all kinds of fun activities because he is Mr. Outdoorsman, so he's always taking us canoeing and shooting and fishing and hunting and camping and whatever the heck's going on in that world. And so I highly recommend it to everybody. And I'll let you go now. That's it for Throwback Thursday. Figured instead of just sharing some kind of item from my past, there's an actual human being, not only from my past, but from my present and from my future. Be a friend and a client for life, I predict. And isn't that what business is all about? I just realized I haven't been saying hello to people that are here, Joe and Lindsay and Jeremy and Adam and everybody that's here live. It's not letting me scroll up through them all. But thank you for being here live. Thank you for watching on the replay. That's it for Throwback Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Every Friday I share a foundational basic business building tip. And I'll do that tomorrow on Foundation Friday. That's it for today. Thanks everyone for being here. Over and out. Bye-bye.